Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm finally making a video about my favorite resources for learning Japanese. I have been learning Japanese seriously for about 3 months now, and these are the resources that I've been using and the resources that I think were most helpful for me as a beginner. So let's get into it. So first, let's begin with the app. I use quite a few apps, some more than others, but these are the ones that are my favorite. So first we're going to start off with an app called Bunpo. This app I used to learn hiragana and katakana, and the reason I really like this app is one, because it's a very flashcard style and that style works really well for me, but also because it goes through the JLPT levels as well. The JLPT lessons are paid for, so if you are a serious learner, you can pay to study the vocabulary that you might see on the JLPTs. It goes all the way from N5 to N1, so I really thought that was really cool and really helpful, and I really like that feature on Bunpo. The next app I like using is an app called LingoDeer. LingoDeer also has other Asian languages besides Japanese, and I have used it when I was studying Chinese and Vietnamese, and I really like the lessons. They're really fun, plus they have the really cool feature where you can record yourself speaking the vocabulary so you can hear if it sounds like the recording, and you can practice like the conversational Japanese that you'll probably use. So I really love LingoDeer. It's super cute, the app is super cute, and the user interface is really cute as well. So I'm a sucker for cute apps, and so I really like LingoDeer too. Another thing I like about LingoDeer is the amount of content they have for the languages, and it's pretty much all free. You can't skip ahead on lessons, so you do have to go through each lesson individually in order to continue on, which I think is fine because you don't want to overload yourself with complicated vocabulary that you're not ready yet. So I do like that it's a step-by-step process if you have the free version, and I really like LingoDeer. Now, this app is like the most infamous language learning app. I think we all know it. I use Duolingo. I know a lot of people diss Duolingo because of the ridiculous sentences that you learn in the vocab. It's super random, but I really enjoy using Duolingo only because I also use their lessons feature and their tips feature. So if you click on a lesson, it will have a tips option, and you can click that and read through the lesson, read through what they're trying to teach you. And I found that to be really helpful. Plus, I really love their stories feature on their app. So you get like real Japanese, even if it's still a little ridiculous, you get to read the sentence structure, you get to hear it, and they quiz you as you go, so you can really see if you're comprehending what's going on. And so I really appreciate that about Duolingo, plus the community is really cool. So I really like Duolingo, even if I know it's kind of a hot take. The last app that I would recommend is an app called HelloTalk. And this is not sponsored by HelloTalk at all, but I really find that I learn best by speaking to others and speaking and practicing reading that language that I'm learning. And so I really found HelloTalk to be really helpful for that. You do have to be careful because it is true, a lot of people will use it as a dating app, which isn't the greatest experience when you're just trying to learn a language and find a language partner. But once you do find a language partner, it is so fun, and honestly like one of the best experiences, just having someone to chat to about the culture you're interested in as well as their language, and they can learn from you about your culture, your language, and that equivalent exchange is just so magical in a sense. For instance, I have 2 language partners. I try not to have too many because I do want to make genuine connections with these language partners, because I do see them as a possible friend or someone I can meet up with if I ever travel to Japan or if they ever come to Canada or the US. It's so cool to actually make genuine friendships, and so that is my goal for HelloTalk and my language exchange partners, is to make actual friends. And I'm so lucky that I did make actual friends. But one of my language partners, she helps me a lot with Japanese, and I help her a lot with English, and it's just fun just casually chatting. And a lot of times we're not even talking about the languages, we're just talking about our day, trips we went on, the weather, you know, just basic things, but also, you know, just getting to know each other. So it's really cool, it's really fun, and I really recommend using HelloTalk to find actual friends. Don't use it as a dating app because that's weird. Don't be weird on HelloTalk, please. Next, I'm going to talk about my favorite textbook that I've been using. I haven't bought a lot of textbooks for Japanese yet, just because I feel like I want to focus on one textbook before I delve into others. So this section of the video may not be as helpful for you if you're looking for multiple textbooks options, but this is my absolute favorite textbook. The textbook is from a series called Minna no Nihongo, and this is the first volume, and I absolutely love this book. I cannot talk about how much I love this textbook. It's one of my favorite textbooks that I've ever had for a language, and it's because it's completely in Japanese. And I know that might sound really intimidating, and trust me, it really is. When I first got it and I was flipping through it and seeing how there wasn't any English, it was terrifying. But I highly recommend using this book after you've learned hiragana and katakana and you feel really comfortable reading both, because that's all this is. It's only in hiragana and katakana. There is some kanji. It has like the little furigana next to it, so as long as you know hiragana and katakana, you should be just fine. I love this textbook. The lessons are really easy and bite-sized. They're easy to understand, and I also use this YouTube channel to help with some of the lessons if I don't know how to correctly pronounce Japanese, because I'm sure, as some Japanese learners have discovered, there is something called a pitch accent for Japanese and how it's spoken, and so you do have to learn that as well. Even though they say Japanese isn't a tonal language, you still need to know the pitches to sound more natural and more native. So yes, I use this YouTube channel's lessons to just get an overview and then do the assignments on my own. But I really love her lessons. She does a great job. She does only have lessons over the first edition, but she goes through all the textbooks, and so I know that I can rely on her for future lessons for Minna no Nihongo. Before I move on, I did want to say another reason why I really love this textbook is since there is no English, I don't have a clutch. I did notice with other lessons and textbooks that when there was English or this word next to the Japanese, I would automatically go to the English letters over the hiragana or katakana, and it really hindered how well I could read Japanese, because I would just keep reading the Roman letters and it didn't really help me grow and improve that way. So that's why I really appreciate this, because I do not have that clutch of falling back on English if I'm struggling with the Japanese. So this is very immersive, and if you want to improve your reading quickly, this really improved my reading quite well. So I recommend this series for learning Japanese, but only if you're ready for an immersive lesson experience. So I'm going to start with the YouTube channels I watch for learning Japanese. All these channels aren't really centered around learning Japanese, but rather they relate to Japanese culture or just the language. So my first recommendation is a channel called Charlotte in Japan. I've been watching her since I was like early high school, and I'm going into my last year of college now. But even though her videos aren't centered around the Japanese language, they are centered around Japan, and it does give me the motivation to study Japanese because I do want to visit there someday. And I think that's also an important thing with resources, is to have something that inspires you, because you don't want to get frustrated with your language and then drop it. Another YouTube channel I suggest is a Japanese vlogger, and her channel name is Julia in Style. A lot of her videos are just casual vlogs of her going out, traveling, shopping, anything like that, just like daily slice of life type of vlogs, and her videos are completely in Japanese. She does have Japanese subtitles, not that many English subtitles, so I do struggle a little bit with understanding it fully, but it's really good for listening and seeing how many words you can catch and piece together. So I do recommend her vlog channel. It's really cute. She has really cute pets. She's easy to listen to as well. Really recommend her channel for just solid Japanese. My last YouTube channel that I would recommend is a channel called Dogen, and Dogen is an American YouTuber who lives in Japan. He's lived here for quite some time, and his Japanese is, at least to me as a beginner, seems flawless. And he does a lot of videos on Japan as well as videos on Japanese as a language itself. And so I found him super helpful for not only learning Japanese, but also having fun listening to Japanese. He does have like a comedic style to his videos, and so he's really fun to watch and listen to. Plus, like, his humor is very similar to mine. And so I really find his videos entertaining, and I've been watching him for quite some time. So I really recommend his videos for both learning the language and just listening to it. So those are all the resources that I have been using to learn Japanese in the past 3 months, and I'm sure this list will probably grow, so inevitably I will probably make an updated version of this resource list, but these are my favorites right now and the favorites that I will probably continue to use all throughout my language journey. So I hope this is helpful for you. If you have any other suggestions for apps, textbooks, YouTube channels, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd love to expand my own list, and I'm sure others will love to see that list as well to add to their own collection for language learning resources. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I will continue to learn Japanese and keep you guys updated, possibly having more Japanese language videos come out. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know, and thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video.